Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is Tariq. In the previous lecture, we were discussing the concept of production function. We defined production function that production function represent a relationship between the specific amount of inputs like labor and capital to produce the maximum possible output. So production function simply means relationship between the inputs and output of the company. But we start discussing short run production function. So short run means short time period. Now, if demand for the goods and services that the company supply increase and the company want to increase supply in the short run, in the short time period. So how company can increase this supply? So we are discussing, elaborating the few assumptions about the short run production function, that if the company want to increase supply, so how company can increase supply? So the first assumptions for the short run production function, the first assumption is this, that capital will remain fixed in the short run production function. This is first assumption. Assumption means supposition. I am supposing. Now why we are supposing that capital will remain fixed in the short run, in the short time period? If the producer want to increase quantity, to increase supply because demand is more, so producer cannot increase supply by increasing size in the short time, because size means another building to purchase, another machinery to purchase, other equipments to purchase. So this need very huge budget, and the producer do not have the budget in the short time to install another factory. So that is why we are supposing that if the producer want to increase supply in the market, so producer cannot change the size of the business. Capital will remain fixed. Producer cannot change the capital. Capital means equipment, machinery, building, office, houses. Producer cannot change this in the short time period, because this capital need a huge budget, and producer already spent $1 million and install the company. So in the short time, producer cannot install another factory, cannot install another company, cannot increase the size. So this is first assumption, that if producer want to increase supply in the market because people are demanding, so in the short time, producer cannot change the size of the business, cannot purchase more machinery, cannot purchase more equipment. So what to do? How producer can increase the supply? Producer can increase supply by increasing labor, because labor is cheap, arzan. Producer can increase supply by increasing raw material, purchase more raw material to manufacture more goods and services. Producer can increase supply by increasing working hours. These are manageable. Labor is cheap, raw material is cheap, working hours is cheap to increase. But size, machine, capital, building, office, that is very expensive. It need huge budget, and the company does not have that much budget in the short time. Like for example, Salam University is working in this Kabul market from the last 10-11 years, but still they does not launch another Salam branch in any other city. They have just only 2 branches in the 10-11 years. One is in Kabul and other is in Kunduz. So launching another branch, increasing the size of the business, it need huge budget, and in the short time the company does not have. So that is why we are supposing that in the short run production function, capital will remain fixed. Another assumption for the short run production function, new business cannot enter in the short time to the market. So again the same explanation. To start a business, to install a new factory, it need huge budget, and to organize the budget, to manage the budget, it need huge time period for the businessman. To import machinery, it need huge time. To purchase a land, it need huge time. To issue the business license to start the business, it needs huge time. So in the short time period, new business cannot enter to the market. This is another assumption for the short-run production function. And a third, existing business cannot quit the business in the short time period. Means the company which is already working in the market, it also cannot quit, cannot close down in the short time period. Why? Because every company has obligations with other businesses, with other companies, and they take money in advance to give supply to the lender. So before fulfilling these obligations, company cannot quit, cannot close down the business. And to fulfill these orders, these obligations, it needs huge time. For example, the company take $1 million from another wholesaler or from another company that I will give you the supply of raw material. So when you will fulfill this obligation, this agreement, this order, then you can quit. So it needs time. Similarly, to resell the size of the factory, to resell the equipment, to resell the machinery, it needs time. So simply in the short-run production function, if producer want to increase the supply according to the increase in demand of the market, so producer cannot increase size of the company, but producer can increase supply by increasing labor, which is cheap arzan, raw material, which is cheap arzan, and working hour, which is cheap arzan. So producer can increase supply by changing labor, but cannot increase supply by changing capital. ما ایره دوباره در زبان دری واضح میکنیم topic ما است production function بچی معنی production function ربط یا ارتباط در مابین inputs او output را نشان میده که اگر inputs زیاد استعمال میشه خو output هم زیاد تولید میشه. آلی اینجا topic is short-run production function. Short-run production function بچی معنی؟ یم ارتباط در مابین inputs و output را نشان میده. خود چرا short-run به معنی short time period، مختصر وقفه. خو ما یک چند assumptions با short-run production function discuss کردیم. او assumptions, yes, assumptions for the short-run production function. SRPF stands for short run production function. اولین assumption، اولین مفروضه ما که اول فرض کردیم وہ با short run production function یہ فرض کردیم که capital business باید ثابت باشه. Capital will remain fixed in the short time period. یعنی در مختصر دوره capital بمعنی size of the business، size business, machinery, equipment, building, offices, ये कुल लगी capital sizes ये साबित में बाशा दर short run दर मुख्तसर वक्त पर चेरा ये बेईमाना कि अगर दर बाजार तकाज़े goods और services की कंपनी जोड़ में कुना वो इजाफा शुद आली कंपनी मजबूरश के तौलीद रा इजाफा कुना सप्लाई रा इजाफा कुना खो दर मुख्तसर वक्त कंपनी न में तना कि कैपिटल यानी साइज कंपनी इंक्रीज कुना और सप्लाई रा इंक्रीज कुना चेरा के साइज कंपनी की बाद इंक्रीज शवा ये जरूरत बेसियार कलान बुदीजा दारा और बिजनेसमैन को फैलन यक कंपनी शुरू कर यक बिजनेस इंस्टॉल कर खुदर मुख्तसर वक्त अस्कुजा इकदर कलान बुदीजा मैनेज कुना कि दोम कंपनी इंस्टॉल कुना खुबाई वजह दर शॉर्ट रन capital of the business, size of the business यानी machinery, equipment, building, office, house ये साबित नहीं बाशा इधर short run increase नमेशा चेरा कि size business बेशार कलान बुदीजेदार जरूरत बेशार कलान बुदीजेदार के इजाफा शवा कि दोम कंपनी शुरू शवा ये बेशार कलान बुदीजे जरूरत दारा और वो कंपनी न दारा चेरा कि कंपनी को फैलन शुरू कर दिया $1 million मसरफ कर और एक बिजनेस जोड़ कर आली तकाजा दर बाजार ज्यादा शुद और प्रोड्यूसर में खो सप्लाई रहम ज्यादा कुना خو نمیتونه که سایز کمپنی را دوچند کنه و زیاد سپلای بده. چرا که ماشین بلدینگ آفیس هاوس بسیار قیمت است، یه در مختصر وقت اضافه نمیشه. خود چطور پرودیوسر کدام میتونه که سپلای خود را زیاد کنه؟ او میتونه که لیبر را اضافه کنه، زیاد کارمند استخدام کنه، چرا که لیبر ارزان است، خود به خود سپلای زیاد میشه. او میتونه که را متریال زیاد پرچیز کنه که زیاد تولید شوه، زیاد گودز اند سرویسز جوړ شوه، یم امکان داره، چرا که را متریال ارزان است. او میتونه که ورکینگ هاورز کمپنی ساعت های ډیوټي زیاد کنه. مثلا اگر کمپنی 8 ساعت کار میکنه خو باید 16 ساعت کار کنه، خود به خود سپلای یا تولید زیاد میشه. خب در شارت رن سایز بزنس چینج نمیشه، اضافه نمیشه، دیگه ماشینری پرچیز نمیشه، دیگه بلدینگ پرچیز نمیشه، چرا که او بسیار کلان بودجه ضرورت داره که فعلا کمپنی او قدر بودجه نداره، چرا که کمپنی خو حال یک دو سه ماه پیش یک فیکٹری شروع کرد، خو از کجا کنه ای قدر کلان بودجه؟ با ای وجه ما فرض کردیم که اگر در بازار تقاضا زیاد شده میره او سپلایر پرودیوسر میخواه که سپلای زیاد کنه، خود در شارت تایم و پرودیوسر نمیتونه که سپلای را زیاد کنه با کمک انکریز کردن سایز کمپنی. او نمیشه. چطور میشه؟ باید لیبر اضافه کنه، ورکینگ هاورز اضافه کنه، را متریال اضافه کنه. یہ امکان داره که باید سپلای زیاد شوه، زیاد تولید شوه، چرا که مردم تقاضا میکنه. خب یہ اول ازامپشن شد که در شارت رن پروڈکشن فنکشن باید کیپیٹل ثابت باشه. دوم ازامپشن ما یہ ڈسکس کردیم کہ نیو بزنس کین ناٹ انٹر ان the short run to the market. اگر یک کمپنی میں خواہ کہ بزنس شروع کنه خود در مختصر ٹائم امکان نداره، مثلا بزنس لائسنس ایشو کنه باید کمپنی وہ بسیار کلان وقت میگیره، کمپنی باید مشینری امپورٹس کنه از خارج، یم وقت ضرورت با وقت داره، کمپنی باید فند ارینج کنه، پول منی اون بسیار کلان وقت میگیره. خود در مختصر وقت شروع کردن بزنس هم امکان نداره. یہ دوم ازامپشن شارت رن پروڈکشن فنکشن شد که در مختصر وقت امکان نداره که یک بزنس در اندستری یا در مارکت شروع شو یا داخل شو. سوم اگریمنٹ به این معنی که existing business cannot quit the business in the short time period. یہ سوم ازامپشن است. یہ سوم ما فرضیه میکنیم، فرضی میگم که اگر یک کمپنی در بازار جریان داره خود در مختصر وقت بند نمیشه، چرا که هر کمپنی که دیگه کمپنی ها اگریمنٹس داره، مثلا یک کمپنی از دیگه کمپنی $1,000,000 پیسه گرفت، ادوانس گرفت که ما به شما یہ را مٹیریل سپلای میکنیم، آلی وہ اگریمنٹ که پورا شوا، سپلای پورا شوا، پس پروڈیوسر میتونه که بزنس خود را بند کنه. خود در شارت وقت خود امکان نداره. اگر یک کمپنی میخواه که کویت کنه، کلوز کنه بزنس را، وہ نمیتونه که بزنس بلڈنگ آفیس هاوس اکویپمنٹ مشینری در یک روز دو روز ریسیل کنه. ریسیل آف the بزنس هم یک کلان وقت ضرورت داره. خب با این وجه یہ ازامپشن شارت رن پروڈکشن فنکشن شد که در شارت رن پروڈکشن فنکشن کیپیٹل ثابت میمانه، نیو بزنس شروع نمیشه او ایگزیسٹنگ وہ بزنس کی وجود داره وہ در مختصر وقت خلاص هم نمیشه. The next topic, law of variable proportion are changes in output in the short run when labor L change and capital is fixed. As we are discussing the short run production function, so in the short run we discuss that producer cannot change the size, the building, the office, the machine, the capital of the business. Producer cannot change the capital of the business to increase supply. But producer can increase supply by changing labor because labor is cheap. I am again repeating, dear students, that if this is short run, so producer cannot change the capital, but producer can change the labor to change the supply. So when producer want to increase supply because demand is more, so producer will definitely increase the labor. increase the raw material, increase the working hour, but producer cannot change the size of the business, cannot change the capital. So when producer want to increase supply by increasing labor, so when the labor increase, output will increase at different rates. My topic in here, law of variable proportion, are changes in output in the short run when producer change labor. So when producer want to increase supply by changing labor, so output will change, output will increase, supply will increase at different rates. So we are discussing those rates. In this section, we will learn that when the producer want to produce more by changing labor, so output will change at different rates, not at a constant rate. And we are discussing those rates as a different laws. Like for example, the first one we call that law of increasing returns. So increasing, you know, increase is a fakardani tawleed. Returns mean the output. In here, law of increasing return mean increase in output. Increase in output. So in the very beginning, in the very first stage of production, when the producer increase the labor, so output will increase at increasing rate. Marginal productivity of the labor and average productivity of the labor will increase at increasing rate. We discussed MPL and APL in the beginning of this chapter, production theory. I am again repeating law of increasing returns. Law of increasing returns mean in the beginning when producer want to increase supply by increasing labor, so as the labor increase, output will increase at increasing rate. The every next and next labor when the company hire increase, output will increase more and more. This is called increase at increasing rate. And MPL, additional productivity of the labor by increasing labor, and average productivity of the labor by increasing labor, it will also increase. Now let me elaborate that why in the beginning when producer increase labor, output will increase at increasing rate. Let me take you to this table. Suppose this is data table for the short run production function. Dear student, I need your sincere concentration in here. This is capital. You can see the first column represent capital and this is fixed. 5 machines, 5 machines, 5 machines, 5 machines and 5 machines. Capital is fixed. Why? Because production function is a short run. We are increasing supply in the short time period. So we discussed that this is assumption that capital will remain fixed. Producer cannot change the size of the business. So that is why capital is fixed. 5, 5, 5. In the short time, producer cannot change the size of the business. But to increase supply, producer can increase labor. Second column represent the number of labor consumed, the number of labor used. One labor, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. Now in here, suppose this green line, this green bracket, this represent the beginning or the first stage of production. I need your sincere concentration, dear students, that in this green bracket which represent first stage of production or beginning of the company, in the beginning company carry 1 labor and 5 machines. Now this labor is not enough to operate the 5 numbers of machines. Means labor is very small in quantity and machine is large in quantity. 1 labor is not enough to operate the machinery fully. So if this is the case that labor is less than the requirement, capital machine is more, and the people are demanding, demand is increasing, producer want to increase supply, so what to do? Producer will increase labor. Because in the short time, producer cannot change the size. So producer increase the labor from 1 to 2. When the labor were 1, when 1 labor were operating the 5 machine, total output were 10 units. And average productivity of labor were also 10 and marginal productivity of labor were also 10. This is These are the information about the APL, MPL and total productivity by consuming 1 labor and 5 machines. Now demand is more, producer want to increase supply by increasing labor. So as the labor increased from 1 to 2, now 2 labors are working and same 5 machine. So output jumped, output increased from 10 units to 25 units. How much increase? Increase by 15 units. This is MPL, marginal productivity of the labor. So marginal productivity of the labor, marginal productivity of the second labor, that is 15 units. What does this mean? This means that when the company were using 1 labor, at that time output were 10, MPL were 10. But when the company used now using 2 labors and increase 1 labor, the total output increased to 25 and the additional output, MPL mean additional output of the second labor is 15 units. Second labor increased output by 15 units. So this why the first labor is manufacturing are producing 10 units and second labor is producing 15 units. Second labor is more skilled, more trained, more organized, more qualified. No, both labor, first and second, both have same skills, same trainings. But why the productivity, the tawleed, the output of this labor 2 is more than the output of the labor 1. First labor produced 10 units and second labor increased output to 25, increased by 15. Why? The reason is this, that the producer know that labor is less and machine is more. 1 labor is not enough to operate the machine fully. 1 labor cannot operate the machinery fully because his duties are more. He is cleaning the environment. He is receiving the orders on telephone. He is operating the machine. He is purchasing raw material. He is giving supply. So labor is 1 and duties are more. That is why he is not efficient. He is not producing too much quantity because duties are more. So what producer did? Producer increase the labor, hire a second labor and divide the duties. That first labor you will operate only the machine and second labor you will receive the calls, you will receive the orders, you will clean the environment, you will purchase the raw material and you will give supply as well. So producer divide the duties. When producer in the beginning divide the duties, now both labor are working fully. Machine is utilizing in best way now. So that is why productivity increased from 10 to 25 and productivity of the additional second labor, that is 15, which is more than the first. So the reason is what? The reason is this, that producer divide the duties among the labor to utilize both labor and capital fully. Again, producer increase the third labor. So when the third labor increased, total output increased from 25 to 45. What does this mean? This third labor increased the output from 20 to 45 by how many units? By 20 units. This 20 unit MPL additional output by the additional third labor, that is 20. This is MPL, means the third labor increased the output, total output by 20 units, which is more than the second and first. Why? This means that third labor is more skilled? No. Because producer organize, manage the resources, manage the input factor, mean increase the labor to better utilize the available machine. Again, further divide the duties. That okay, first labor you will operate the machine, second labor you will receive the orders and give supply, and third labor you will clean the environment. So with this process, when producer will increase labor, divide the duties and output will increase at increasing rate. So to the fourth labor, output increase at increasing rate. You can say that till the third labor output increase at increasing rate, and fourth labor APL and MPL are equal. This is first stage of production. So this we discuss that why in the very beginning law of increasing return, when output increase at increasing rate, both MPL and APL are increasing. You can see from here MPL 10, APL 10, APL increased to 12.5, MPL increased to 15, APL increased to 15, MPL increased to 20, and at fourth labor MPL and APL are equal. So this is first stage of production. In the very beginning, when producer will increase the labor to increase supply, so output will increase at increasing rate. Okay, I am closing down again this recording because the time is expanding and then this create problem in uploading. We will again discuss inshallah in the next lecture from this point.